Hello, Oboefiles! This is the channel where we talk about oboe playing and music education. Today, we're talking about Ferling number 22. I'm going to play it in just a moment, and then we'll talk about some things so that you can learn how to practice some pretty tricky technique, how to work on accents, and how to smash that like button if you haven't already. Alright, let's get to it. This is Ferling Etude number 22. Okay, so Ferling number 22 is the fast one in A major, and it's got a lot of tricky sections where you have to leap up to C sharp from an E or from other crazy intervals that might not be that comfortable at first. But the key is to practice this one slowly and with a metronome. Notice there's a metronome back here on my stand behind me, and that's because, well, of course there is. I never practice these kinds of things without first starting slowly and with metronome, and I'm talking like quarter note equals 30 or eighth note equals 60 if you want to practice with the eighth note on instead. So make sure you're practicing slowly. You can never practice slowly enough. You should always be practicing more things slowly. Okay, so the first tricky thing that I want to talk about are the ties. The ties are really easy to cut off early. Make sure that you're having like 4 single subdivisions within that tie, and I know that's easy to say, so what I think is vibratoing through and then giving a little emphasis on the downbeat so you can come off of it, or even just not playing the downbeat so you have a little bit of moment of impulse there. Make sure you give a little bit of vibrato on the downbeat. I think that's measure 2 actually. And that way, you won't come off early off the ties. Okay, another issue that comes up are the accents. Now there's all kinds of accents. You can do a tongue accent, you can do an accent with gesture breath, you can do an accent by just holding the note a little bit longer. That will also give it the kind of accent feeling. So decide what kind of accent you want, and I'll give you a hint. The tongue one is probably like the least appropriate most times. Sometimes it's appropriate, but most times you don't want to be using your tongue alone to make these accents happen. So when you're practicing them, give them a try. Or and kind of see what feels better to you. Okay, the other thing that comes up with this etude a lot are different arpeggios. So make sure that you're using your theory brain before you start the etude and just go really slowly figuring out what arpeggio are you actually playing and how does it relate to the A major scale. For example, after the restatement of the initial motif, there's a section that goes into, I think it's like F sharp minor, the 6th chord. And you want to know that it's F sharp minor and you want to be able to practice it slowly. So, practice your arpeggio slowly. First page of the Vademecum can help you with that. Or any other scale, book, set that you like. Okay, so after the first phrase, there's a rest. Awesome. And then this crazy 2 voice things happen. So make sure you're practicing it first, the lower voice by itself. Then the upper voice by itself. So that you can really individualize them, and when you put them together, you want to still kind of create the illusion that there's two people playing the oboe part here. Okay, I think that covers all of the difficulties of this etude. Make sure you're playing it slowly. Make sure you know how to do the accents. Make sure you know what chords you're playing as you go through these arpeggios. Oh, make sure that the voicings are different when there's two voices present, and you practice them each voice separately first. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe and smash that like button below to really help out the channel. This has been Oboefiles on Ferling Etude number 22. I hope you guys have a great day, and when in doubt, play beautifully.